keep on trying. I'm about that life, never quit. I'm about that life, keep on striving. I'm about that life, keep on pressing. I'm about that life, keep on shining. I'm about that life, keep on dreaming. I'm about that life, never stopping. I'm about that life. It's a dream thing, y'all.
Dancer, writer, artist, warm spirit, unyielding, formidable, just a few things to describe today's guest. Today on About That Life, Totress Beasley. Totress! Hey! Thank you for being on the show today. I'm so excited to have you here. Look
Thank you
at
for
you.
having me.
Yes, it's an honor. You're all smiles. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, and you got your lovely background picture of yourself.
Yep.
She's a star. I love it. So I want everyone to know how I know the amazing Miss Totress Beasley. We met at our church in Pasadena. Our church is a Victory Bible Church. We were a part of we still are part of
Yep.
the praise dance team, highest
Yeah.
praise. I believe that was maybe 2015, maybe.
I think it was about 2015, 2014, somewhere up in there.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, like a good couple of months or a year that I was in for a while because I started in 2014. So yeah, it's amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, we had some good times, before the world changed, and still coming back. The way our church functions is a little different than how it was before.
Yeah.
But our church has changed a lot interiorly.
Yeah.
So, we used to have a lot more space to dance, and now
Right,
we still
right,
kind of do, but it's just a different format now because we have that full stage now and everything.
right. We
But
dance on the side. We have to dance on
yeah,
the sides when we
yes.
do.
Yes, but, like, when we were starting, we used to do, like, the dance concerts still and everything.
I miss those.
Yeah, and me and my sister Tatras, we got to know each other a lot when we would do the billows and everything. She's an amazing person. I call her my sister because she really is a sister. She's come through for me in so many different ways, and I'm just so honored and blessed to have her in my life, and I'm just so honored and blessed to have you on today.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm honored and blessed to have you, little sister. That's who I call
Aw.
you, my little sister.
Yes. So, my first question, Tatris, let's just get it out of the way, is what is your purpose in life?
Ooh. I really, really believe that my purpose is helping and serving people
Hmm.
in whatever facet that is, but helping and serving people because that's what I find my joy in doing.
When did you find that that was your purpose?
Um, I think ever since I was a little girl, I used to talk to people all the time, just talk to any and everybody. And my grandfather's wife at that time, which is not my biological grandmother, but she's my, grandfather's wife. She would tell my grandfather, "Tell that girl to stop talking to people." And he said, no, she would say, "Tell that girl to stop talking to strangers." And my grandfather said, "Toddlers don't know no strangers."
Hmm.
So I think, I didn't realize that that was my calling until I got older and seeing that even in talking to people, it was an evangelism spirit. And that's just what I do. I talk to people. My sister used to say, we were walking down the street going places, and I would just strike up a conversation with people, and we were walking and talking like we've known each other for years. And she would go, "Did you know that person?" I'm like, "No."
Mhm.
So with that gift of talking to people, I think that that's a spirit of helping people because when I talk to them and listen to them, if they tell me something that's going on, immediately I want to pray for them or help them or do something. So to me, that's my purpose. And I've been walking in it for years. So,
I've witnessed it myself. I have firsthand witnessed it, especially when because I don't live in Pasadena, but whenever I do go out there, once or twice a week, obviously for church reasons. But when I am out in the like a festival or some Pasadena community event, everybody knows you. And I know it's
Yeah.
not just from um sort of events that you participated in. It's just from like doing what you say
Yeah.
now, just going up
Yeah.
and talking to people. I know that as adults, we sort of try to temper that out of children to get them
Hmm.
instead of sort of being open and inviting and talking to strangers. How do you feel about that now, knowing the kind of person you are, and you sort of looking back on how people were kind of not in a negative way, but trying to just sort of, I guess, protect you because
Hmm.
parts of the world that we don't want kids to always be so open to. How do you
Hmm.
feel about that now that that was a part of your personality? That was a part of the person that God created you to be, but that the world was trying to tell you to kind of be a little bit different.
Yeah. It hasn't changed for me. Um, I still do it. It's like I go out in life with intentions
Mhm.
to meet somebody and to help somebody. I keep a can in my car. Probably shouldn't say that, but I keep a can that has finances in it. So if I see somebody or if somebody come up and ask me, can I have something or whatever, I have something to give them. And what I do it on intention all the time. So it's a little harder nowadays because, like at my job, I'm always in my head, like, who can I talk to today? Who can I bless today? And just, speaking to people, I like that smile. Your hair is pretty. You're beautiful. Just kind words. And when it comes down to ministering in this day and time, I find it a little harder because of the way the world is going and the way people are thinking. To me, before people had more of a reverence for God and they would receive it better. Now people think that it's a judgment or I don't believe in God or I don't believe in this. So it's a little harder. So I, come at people with a different approach. Like I say, I may say, hi, how your day going? Like I was at work the other day and I was talking, getting on the elevator with this young man. And so he was talking about his kids, telling me one is going to college, one is, graduating or whatever. And I asked him, I said, what church do you go to? He said, well, I don't go to any church. And I said, why? And I don't talk to him like, oh, like I just kind of try to hold a conversation. And so I said, why? And he's like, well, them church people. And I touched him. I said, well, are you church people? He said, yeah, I go to church. I said, what have you done? Because somebody's watching you. And then he just kind of backed up. And then I don't push it any further, but I just kind of plant seeds. I just kind of drop it. But I'm still the same person. I'm going to talk to you. If I'm in an elevator with you and it's just me and you, I'm going to say hi or I'm going to say something.
So true. It's so
Yep.
true. That's just who she is. I love it, I do. What does dance do for you? How important is it in your life?
I love it. What does it do for me? It how can I say it in a certain way? It just puts me in a place of joy. Even when I'm line dancing, even when I'm praise dancing, it just, it takes me into the presence of God. It gives me happiness, and even if I'm tired in my body, dancing just, you know, like I say, everything I do is intentional. I just keep pushing, keep moving forward. So I say it takes me to a place of joy.
How important is it to you in your life?
I can't live with. I won't live without it. As long
Okay.
as I got strength in my body, I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna move. I remember being in the choir. Every choir I've been to, it's not I just don't stand there singing.
Right.
I'm moving. I'm like, nobody else is around me, but I'm moving. I don't know if you ever seen the movie Tina Turner when the little girl was in the middle and she was just gone and singing. That's me.
How was ministry and movement birthed?
Ooh, okay.
Tell
So,
everybody what it is too, as well. What is ministry and movement?
okay, so ministry and movement is an exercise dance class. We get our exercise through moving and through dancing. And so I had started attending another ladies class here in Pasadena. Somebody invited me to go. I didn't know nothing about line dancing. So I went to her class, and I'm the type of person, I pick up rhythm really fast. I can learn things really fast, when it comes down to dancing. And so I started dancing with her and going to her class after, several weeks, to the point where she asked me, she said, sometimes when she would come home from work late or whatever, she would ask me, can you get the class started? And I would get this class started for her. Or either when she is there, she would say, how does this move? And I would kind of help her. And so one of our members at the church, I don't know, should I say names, but she came up to me. She said, you should start a line dance class at our church. I'm like, girl, I don't know nothing about no line dance. I'm not starting no class. She said, no, you would be good. I said, no. And she went to the elders or whoever, the leaders in the church, and suggested it. And so I was like, okay, if they come and ask me, I'm going to say yes, because I had to learn at that time, be confident in what the gifts God put in you, and just say yeah, because you don't know where it's going to go. Because I was definitely going to say no. So they came to me. I think it was one of the ladies in the that worked in the office at the time. She asked me, and I was like, okay, yeah. So I have to put this in there. Growing up, I grew up in a Church of God in Christ, a holiness church. We didn't listen to secular music. We didn't dance, even though I've always known how to dance. Like I said, I know rhythm, I know beat, I can pick up quick. I felt some kind of way in dancing, and I was like, oh, But Daniel Shorter, I'm gonna go ahead and say his name. He had to do it's like, I wouldn't say what it was called, but it was like a class. And he taught me about ministry, because in my head, I always thought ministry was behind the pulpit and you preaching, or, you evangelizing, or missionary, or whatever. I didn't realize that ministry, from this class he taught, is ministry is anything that shares the love of God with others. It could be in a smile. Somebody could be down and depressed, and you just give them a smile, and it could lift them up. And so I went on and I started the class, and I think I started in 2014. I think it was 2014 at the church. And we've been going on since then. And I believe a lot of people, a lot of the ladies that come to my class and men that come to my class have been blessed, even though we're dancing to secular music and gospel music as well. They come for the fellowship, they come for the fun. One lady told me yesterday, because I had my class on Saturday, she came up to me, she said, I just love your spirit. And she's new in my class, but she said, I just love your spirit and I love this class. So that's how it was birthed.
Hey, and I love that because I remember very early on, I think it was Bishop's birthday party. This had to have been like 2015. We went to some
Yeah.
country club in Altadena,
Yeah.
and I think that was the first time I saw you in action. And you were like, Totress, and I think it was you were with Tamarsha. Am I saying her name
Yeah.
right?
To
Yep.
Marsha.
And everybody was like calling you in, and you went out to the dance floor, and then everyone followed in after that. It was like
Yeah.
you went on the dance floor and initiated that it was time to do line dance, and it's been like that ever since. Anytime we have a church event or even an event in Pasadena, people look to Totress to
Yeah.
start the line dancing. And I will say this: in her class, I've taken it a few times. Is definitely a fitness class. You will burn sweat. And she's just such a cool instructor. For those who actually take dance class, like a religious way, where you have a dance teacher that's kind of hard on you and expect you to kind of come in with a certain level and skill. Tatras is not like that. She is so cool. Like she meets you wherever you are and is
Yep.
not judgmental and is happy that you're there and will come over to the side and help you figure out the steps, because these are not like just step touch. Like these are complicated line
Right.
dances. Like twirling and spinning and doing all this other stuff. So and you have to keep up. And I'm like, I don't even know how you remember most of those dances. They're all different. And I have no I mean, I guess all the repetition that you do it, but it's a fun time. I
Yeah.
highly recommend anybody going to ministry and movement. And like she said, some people attend, they're not going there to find God. They're just going there to connect, to forget about their problems.
Mm-hmm.
They just need somebody to see them. And
Definitely.
they feel that way when they go in there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know you liking this episode, and you know what you need to do, don't you? You need to go ahead and hit that like button, and you need to hit that share button, and you need to hit that subscribe button. They are waiting for you right there. They got your name right on it, right there. Yes, go ahead and hit those buttons for me. And back to the episode.
There was this couple that started coming to our class. They had lost, I think, both of their sons. And the doctor told them to help them with the depression to find a dance class.
Mm-hmm.
And they started coming to the class. There's been women that have to stay at home taking care of a sick husband and they don't have an outlet. And then everybody that I know, me, I'm not an exercise person. I don't like to go to the gym. I walk the Rose Bowl, but I'm not one of those gym type of people. So my exercise comes through dance, and I move a little extra harder. So a lot of people are not gym people, but to get that blood moving and to get that, their body going. And for the mental, they'll come to a dance class. So, yeah.
And congratulations on keeping this going as long as you have. That's
Thank you.
amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
And still having loyal patrons come out to be a part of it. It's amazing. So I do want to talk about kind of not a positive moment in your life, but earlier this year, you lost your home in the wildfires in the
Yeah.
Pasadena area. How would you describe the last 8 months?
Overwhelming, hopeful, positive. And I say overwhelming because it's a lot to go through. Still being displaced. Thank God I'm here, with my son. But, not having the things that you need, that you've had access to for the last 12 years, washer and dryer, your own room, your own space, having to work and take care of business to try to get my house back together is overwhelming because I have to balance that time, you know. Um, what did I say? Hopeful, because when the house first burned and I go and look at it and it's still there, a shell, but everything's ash. Um, Once they took the house down, and then the hope came because it's like, wow, I got a nice big lot. I can see a new house there. You could see things. And then what was the third thing I said? Promising or joyful.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, because I'm joyful that I'm gonna have it back and better and brand new. So, you know, it's gonna be good.
I would say one of the beautiful things I was able to witness when I did go back and see, the aftermath of everything was that your tree was still in,
That orange tree, huh?
yes, still standing, still blooming and everything. And, just a reminder of how good God is
Yeah,
in spite of devastation. Um,
yeah,
That was a beautiful thing to see because, and
yeah,
yes, you have a large amount of land that was not even being utilized as much. It's like you could definitely expand um,
yeah.
now, and that's a beautiful thing. When the fires were occurring, did you really think that you were going to walk away without a house?
I did not. We had to evacuate at 4:30 a.m. I was already in the car because I had got up at like 2 o'clock because the wind was blowing so hard and we had no electricity. So I went out to the car to plug my phone in the car so I can get charged. I was going to go to work on that morning.
Hmm.
And I was just out there by myself, waiting for the phone to charge. And then my son came outside and we were just out there talking and being there. And I noticed that the neighbors were packing up and leaving, and I'm like, what's going on? I knew the fires were going, and it was real smoky and real dark, but we've had fires for years and it's never come down that far. So when we asked them what's going on, they were like, well, we're evacuating. So our neighborhood is very neighborly. You know about those block parties
Mhm.
and stuff. So we all look out for each other. And they were like, we're going to either the Civic Auditorium or it was another place, I forget. And so me and Aaron was like, well, what do you think? Should we evacuate? And the police came down the street. So I went up to him. Here's that serving again. I wasn't thinking about myself. I told him, I said, do we have to evacuate? Where is the fires? He said it's at Altadena Drive. Now, Altadena Drive from my home, walking distance is about 15 to 20 minutes. I
Mhm.
told him, I said, well, there's a lady that lives in the house here. She's an elderly lady. I said, someone needs to get her out. And so, because I think Miss Sharp at that time was probably like 100, maybe a little over 100, 102. And so I told him, I said, they need to get her out because she's on oxygen, and with all this smoke and stuff. So I looked at her and I'm like, well, maybe we better go too. So we went in the house and I'm like, okay, what do we get? Because, like I said, we wasn't thinking we weren't coming back, but just, I guess, for the record, what do we get? So I've always heard people say, get your papers. I really didn't know what papers. So, but I got I got some papers. Then I got a few personal items, maybe a one or two. I got my praise dance flags because I said, if something happened, these praise dance flags are going with me. I grabbed that and I think I grabbed one outfit because we were in our pajamas. And I was thinking I got the outfit so I can change clothes. We left and went to the auditorium, and that was it. We never been back.
How did you find out that your house was gone?
Okay, so we were at the Civic Auditorium, and people were just, nobody was really like, I didn't see anyone crying and devastating because a lot of people didn't know what was going on. They knew the fires were there. They didn't know if my house is burned or if it's not. So how we found out is because we were sitting there talking, and Aaron had a friend to call him and say, "Man, your house is on the news." They didn't say it was burning. He just said it's on the news. So Aaron jumped in the car. His intention was to go to the house and go in the house now to get some things. But when he got to the house, then he found out the house was burning. So, we were just there. We had to watch it, watch everything go up in flames. So,
And how were you feeling during that moment? Was there anger?
to be honest with you, it wasn't. I'm not saying that I wasn't sad because that is my house, but that and the house was there and all my items was there, but it wasn't my life because my life is hid in Christ. So Christ is my life, and that's been my testimony from the beginning. So I really couldn't get emotionally distraught, and I videoed it
Hmm.
because I just look at it as items, as things. Sometimes you have too many things. And I did a interview with another dance sister of ours, and like I was telling her, we can't be attached to
Mhm.
things. We have to learn to release them, and move forward. I was telling the news, I got peace that passes all understanding because I don't understand why, I feel this way. It was just, it's items, it's things. Everything could be replaced, you know. Some better. Now there are things that you might not can replace just as it was, because I had, personal items in there that meant something to me, but it's still just an item,
Hmm.
you know. So that's how I feel about it.
Very early on, when you did do television interviews, you've been sort of saying the same thing you're saying right now.
Yeah, Yeah.
It may have been just an hour after finding out that your house burned down that you were saying the
Right.
same thing that you're saying right now.
Yeah. And like I say, the peace that passes all understanding, I cannot explain it to you. I really cannot, and it's actually the way I feel, you know. Now, I have had my time since I've been here where I wake up in the morning and I'll think of something and go, my house is gone, and I've shed my tears, but it doesn't take me under. I'm going to say
Mm.
it like that. It doesn't take me out and under. So,
And you're just really inspiring. And I I say you're my big sister for a reason, because not just for incidences like that where you show me how on fire for God you are, but you're just a good example. That's all.
and you remind me of me too, because you are one grounded young lady.
I
I'm like,
try.
when I listen to you, I'm like, that girl got it going on. You look,
I'm trying.
no, when you see Tam, when you look and see Tamara, you see this beautiful young lady with a pretty and wonderful spirit, but such strength behind all that. I said, she know what she doing. She can handle business. Where people might look at you go, oh, she's a little, she's just so soft. But honey, if you have to handle business, you're gonna handle it. And that's what I see in you. And
Mm.
that's what I love about you. You know.
Totress, stop.
Oh, stop it. How much do I owe you?
Oh Lord. I was gonna ask, what does Altadena and Pasadena mean to you?
Well, I never lived in Pasadena. I mean, excuse me, Altadena.
Hmm.
I've lived in Pasadena all my life. So Pasadena is my home.
Mm.
I'm a native of California. I was born in Los Angeles, California. And my mother passed when I was 8 years old. The last street that we lived on, where my mother was alive, was a street called Morton in Pasadena. So Pasadena is all I know. It's home to me. When I hear people say, I'm going back home, or I'm going to Texas, or I'm going here, I'm like, Pasadena is here. This is it for me, And it's one of the reasons so strongly is because it's my attachment. It's the only attachment I have left of my mother from
Mm.
Pasadena. You know, Altadena is a beautiful city. It's a place where we go. We've danced there. We've eaten there. I have friends there, and it's a beautiful community.
It
So
really
it's just a
is.
part of Pasadena because I mean Altadena and Pasadena. My house that burned is right on the borderline of Altadena, Pasadena. So my house is Pasadena. The next door house is Altadena. You know, and like I say, this is all I know. I don't think
Um,
I'll ever leave here.
I don't blame you. I love it. That's one of my dream locations is there. So, do you have any regrets in life?
Ooh. Mm, I probably do. I'm quite sure. Um, a lot of maybe personal regrets. Some things I wish I had done and I didn't do. Um, but they're not regrets that would make me feel, I guess I would just say some kind of way. Just wish I had done things better, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe and even in raising my sons, because we know that we are supposed to instill in them what they are going to be when they get older. And as a young mom, I might have missed it some places. And then when I look back on it now, I go, "Oh, I wish I had done that better." You know. So yeah, that.
Is there a time that you would like to go back and revisit?
No, not really.
Forward. Keep moving
Got to
forward.
move
I like that.
forward.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. If you were a punctuation mark, what punctuation would you be?
Ooh. Um. I would stop and complete my book that I've been starting and working on
Mm-hmm.
for years. I would, you know, the only reason why I don't right now is because the timing, like I was telling you, working and trying to deal with the house and just deal with life. I need to stop and take more time for me and complete things. So I would say that because I put it out there. Oh, I'm writing a book, and I've had people come up to me and say, "Is your book finished? I want to get your book," but I haven't really revisited that. Especially since the fire.
So you're technically a period. Like you need to finish. Period.
Right, right.
Okay. I told my friends I was a comma.
Okay.
And my friend immediately, once I told her that, she said, "Oh, I get it. You stop for a moment, you gather what you need to figure out what to do next, or look at the mistakes you've made,
Mm-hmm.
take a pause, and
And
then kick, like
kick
get
back
yourself
in.
yeah, kick back
That's
in."
a good question. I've never heard that, but that's actually a very good question.
Thank you. Are you proud of the person you have become?
Um, Sometimes I am, and sometimes I'm not.
That's fair.
And that's reason because, we can always be hard on ourselves, thinking that you could do things differently or comparing yourself. I was just telling my son before this interview, and I think I mentioned you before. I don't know why me. I'm boring and I don't know what to say. I don't have nothing to say. And I was telling Aaron that I said, and that's where the little nervousness comes in. And he says, "Mom, you have a lot of good things. You have got a lot of good qualities. You do the same thing because when you start comparing to other people, and we do need to stop that. I know I need to stop that and look at the person that I am in my physical attributes and all the attributes I have and say, hey, you got it going on. You're beautiful. You know. Sometimes I even think about my hair. I had hair once upon a time, and I could style it different. I could do different things. I have my college cosmetology. I worked in salon for years. Never really thought I'd ever have problem hair because I used to pride in doing problem hair. I would do weaves for women to make them look, just come out in their self. And then all of a sudden, here I have the problem hair, and I have to cut my hair off. And sometimes when I go places, even to work, it feels a little uncomfortable. Like, I'll look in the mirror and it's not always positive what you say about yourself. But I have to embrace who I am and just move forward.
Yeah, you're beautiful.
Thank you. And I think it's,
Not everybody can rock that. Not everybody can. I'm
I
telling you.
know.
You got the head for it, girl.
I have looked
You're
at women
good.
cut their hair off. They'll look at me and go, I'm about to do that. So even in this, it's been
Yeah.
an inspiration to other women that have dealt with this.
Yeah.
My sister cut all her hair off because for some reason, some of the women in our family have hair issues. And my sister, for years,
Mhm.
we wore wigs and stuff like that. And I just told her, I said, cut it off. She cut it off and she sees such beauty. She gets so many compliments. So by me having to do this and wearing it, it has really inspired a lot of women to go bald.
Yeah.
And thank God it came out
I
right when Black Panther came out, so we was in the house.
My last question, we are coming down to it. This has
Okay,
been a great conversation.
thank you. It
Last
has.
question. Do you like yourself?
Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. I'm gonna say that. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't.
You'll be very surprised how common that is the answer.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know what that says about us as society, but that is a very common answer. So, you know, and you don't have to explain it. We all been there or are in there at that moment.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I do want to thank you for sitting and talking to me. I've gotten to know you more, and I want to thank you all for tuning in and watching. And I will see you next time on About That Life. Bye.
About that life.